Before I speak on the adjournment motion that is before the House, I want to say a few words, sir, generally about the issue of corruption in this country and how different governments have been dealing with this issue. Corruption is endemic in this country. Every government has been responsible. When elections are held, one party attacks the other on the basis of corruption. The party which is the incumbent government is attacked, and the other party comes to power. But corruption continues. It is publicly talked about that the government is corrupt, that ministers are making money, that various things are happening. They blame each other, but they all do the same thing and don't ever make any honest endeavor to bring this to an end. People are getting sick of this situation. And my fear is that if the present situation continues, this corruption which has become endemic and so wide in this country might be the cause for the end of democracy. Democracy in this country can come to an end unless corruption is brought to a halt. We all know that despotism and dictatorship have always been preceded in many countries by rampant corruption. And that rampant corruption has been the main cause for despotism, dictatorship taking place in many countries and democracy being terminated. Corruption needs to be dealt with by any government. It must be stopped. It must be terminated. Persons guilty must be punished. But it never happens in this country. For the last so many decades, we are talking about corruption. Corruption under the UNP, corruption under the SLFP, corruption under the UNP, UPFA. That ministry is corrupt, this ministry is corrupt. Who is the man in this country who has been convicted for corruption in court? Is there one person? You have been talking about corruption under every government. Has there been one single man from any government who has been convicted in court for corruption?
But they have been put behind bars.
This is the position.
Legally.
So you are fooling the people. You are fooling the people, you are fooling this house, you are fooling the members of this house. You are hand in glove with each other in the matter of corruption. Both the UNP and the SLFP are hand in glove with each other in the matter of corruption. That is the truth. And the people are getting sick of all of you. People are getting tired of all of you. People feel that all of you must be packed off, and people might prefer a dictator taking over. They might prefer it almost happened in 2018. We were moving towards a despotic dictatorship. We were moving towards the end of democracy. Fortunately, the people stopped that. But we had great leaders in this country. Did anyone accuse G.S. Siranaka of corruption? Did anyone accuse H.W. Ali Bandaranaike of corruption? Did anyone accuse Dudley Siranaka of corruption? Did anyone accuse Sriwambu Bandaranaike of corruption? Did anyone accuse even Mr. Ranasinghe Premadasa of corruption?
No, only killing, no
Why?
corruption.
What's happening now?
He was accused.
Okay, what is happening now? What is happening now? I'm not saying Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe is corrupt. I'm not saying Mr. Maithripala Sirisena is corrupt. But there is corruption. You know it. And nothing is happening. Corruption must be eliminated, sir. Much is talked about the corruption that prevailed during the last regime. That man is being arrested, this man is being arrested. Some charges leveled against one person, some of the charges leveled against the other person. You've been in office for 2 years. What have you done? Has anyone been indicted in court in regard to any particular charge? Has anyone been convicted? No. What are you trying to state the person guilty Or are you framing false charges that you can't substantiate against people? This country needs to know. When there is so much of corruption that is being leveled against the former government, why is it that no one has been convicted? Why is it that no one has even been charged in a court of law? Is it because you are protecting them? Or is it because your charges are thoroughly unfounded and you can't substantiate them? Therefore, sir, this must be brought to an end. We can't allow this to go on. This is bad for the country. The country is sinking with charges of corruption, both against the UNP and against the SLP. Now, even against your present government, there are charges of corruption. We see about it in the papers. What's happening? On the central bank, sir, I won't be long. This has been a long issue. The central bank has lost its prestige in this country. It has lost its status in this country. The central bank misconduct, their misbehavior, they are acting beyond the legitimate functions of a central bank. Did not start yesterday or the day before. It started a long time ago. During the last regime, the central bank was accused of even engaging in political propaganda on behalf of the government.
You have 3 more minutes, Honourable Leader.
In the United States.
You have 3 more minutes.
Propagate the policies of the government. So this has been going on for a long time. But as far as this particular bond scam is concerned, there have even been earlier bond scams. Nobody should be spared. The truth must be ascertained. And the person responsible must be brought to book. No one should be spared. I would urge the government to appoint an upright, independent commission of inquiry to go into the whole question and find out the truth. It is absolutely imperative that the country must know the truth. We don't care who is the person who is responsible, but the person responsible must be ascertained, must be brought to book, he must be charged, and the government...
Honourable Ratnatha, why don't you allow the Leader of the Opposition to speak? Huh?
Default.
Please let him speak. It's a respectable house, no?
To find out who has been responsible for this scam. The country has suffered immense loss. There's no question about it. The country has suffered immense loss. This money belongs to the poor people of this country. And you have no right to swindle the money in this way. This is wrong. It must be stopped. The truth must be...